My name is Craig MacInnis. I'm a co-CEO at myCaribou, and I'm joined by my colleague Lindsay Wilton, who heads up our customer care team. And together we will discuss best practices for promoting your organization and connecting with new partners around the world. As an administrative item, please feel free to ask questions as we go, using the Q&A panel. We'll attempt to get to all those questions towards the end. And if we don't get through all the questions, we will follow up afterwards with responses post-presentation. Just as people continue to join, if you haven't signed up for your free trial of myCaribou, or you aren't currently a user on the platform, and we have a mix today, the link should be in the chat panel, or Angela will post it there to allow you to sign up. And we do have people on our end that will approve those certainly before the end of the session today. So let's get started. Let me just give you a quick overview of what we're hoping to complete today in terms of an agenda. First, there is a combination of companies on this call today that are using myCaribou, and then there are others that are either brand new to it, just signed up recently. So I'm going to just do a quick introduction to the platform, just to level set everyone there. And then we'll do an overview and provide some use cases of how opportunity posts can help you find partners around the world. Lindsay will demonstrate that in the platform and show you how to post an opportunity. And then I'll speak to best practices for promoting your company, which is absolutely critical. And we'll wrap up with Q&A at the end. So again, thank you all for joining. For those of you, again, that are new to the platform, what is it? And what problem is it solving? So myCaribou is focused on a major problem in the industry of medtech equipment, devices, supplies, of failing global channels. And our observations on this over the years have been that, most of the 45,000 manufacturers in the space are small to mid-sized organizations who sell direct in some markets, but partner with over 60,000 distributors in markets around the world. But these partnerships fail more often than they succeed, and worse, it takes years to fail. Both manufacturers and distributors then are losing revenue as they continue to false start in markets around the world. They fail, in our opinion, because the global medtech market is complex. Each country has different regulatory, purchasing, and reimbursement models that SMB manufacturers need to navigate. Partners often choose the wrong partner for their markets. And even if they choose the right partner, they lack modern tools to manage successful partnerships. So in a nutshell, if you think about the impacts, they are significant. $10 million companies that should be $20 million companies, for example, or $100 million companies that should be $200 million in revenue. In terms of what we've built, so myCaribou solves these problems. It is a fully integrated global platform where medtech companies can navigate markets, match and connect with new partners, and manage existing partnerships with collaboration tools. Our mission is to unlock the global medtech ecosystem, bringing millions of new and existing products to market faster. There are over 40,000 company profiles on the myCaribou platform today, and this is growing every day. The breakdown, as you can see, roughly 21,000 manufacturers, 20,000 distributors in 170 plus markets. We also have a growing segment of regulatory and market consultants, as well as trade organizations in those countries around the world. So let me just give you a quick sense of the platform. Again, for those of you that are brand new to it, this will level set you with people on the call today that are using the platform. It'll take me just a few minutes, and I'll show you how this works. And then Lindsay's going to step through posting an opportunity. So as I mentioned, the platform itself is intended to help companies discover markets around the world, find and connect with new partners, and collaborate with partners in what we call workspaces. So if you're looking at the world from this perspective, I'm a manufacturer in this example. My company profile is here. You have full control over your profile on the platform, and we can help you set that up if you haven't done so currently. This is my view of the world, in this case as a manufacturer. Green markets are markets that I'm active in, and purple markets are target markets for me as an organization. Each of these markets, then, if you think about a manufacturer trying to go into various markets around the world, as you click on markets, you can view that market with over 800 data points to help you understand the market before you start trying to make connections with distribution partners, et cetera, in those markets. So each of these has basically 6 sections. An overview is where it starts, which really just tells you about the Brazilian market in this case, a background on how medical or on healthcare happens, I should say, in that space, as well as medical devices and equipment, long-term care, alternative care, et cetera. We have data around healthcare expenditure and financing, so public-private mix of spending, as well as spending by type. I'm gonna hit these very quickly just because many of you are already in the platform, some of you are brand new to it. You can go explore this as much as you want to. Healthcare assets employment looks at things like beds, hospitals, but also healthcare employment, physicians, clinical specialists, surgical specialists, and so on. And every data point is cited and sourced, so you know where the data came from and how recent it is. We also get into healthcare utilization. Looks at surgeries by category, by clinical area, as well as diagnostic exams, healthcare trends and indicators, and then finally regulatory, which provides a quick overview of regulatory requirements in the market, as well as direct links to those regulatory environments. By the way, this is just a touch point on regulatory. The platform also, though, lets you go find regulatory consultants if you need help delving into those markets and getting your certifications. So that's market discovery. The second piece is partnering, and there's really 2 aspects to partnering. You can search for partners, or you can post opportunities to have partners connect with you. Lindsay's going to cover posting opportunities, so I won't touch on that. I'll just show you very quickly how finding partners works. So I'll just use a quick example. If I'm a manufacturer and I'm looking for distributors and or sales agents, let's say I'm looking at that Brazilian market that I just showed you a moment ago, and I'm looking for cardiovascular focused distributors. You'll see over here roughly 44,000 companies. If I filter it down based on those 3 filters, you're now looking at 93 companies that are distributors in Brazil of cardiovascular products. You can then click on that company, view their profile, go to their website if you'd like to, check them out further, look at their LinkedIn page. Ultimately, if you're ready to connect to this company, you hit the connect button. It may ask you a few questions. In this case, there are 3 questions that I need to answer as I try to connect to this particular distributor. So that's one example of finding a partner. Another would be if you're a distributor, let's say you're looking for suppliers. I'll clear which country they're in because I don't care. It could come from anywhere in the world in this case, or maybe I do care and I want to filter it further. I'll leave the cardiovascular filter on. And let's see what that provides. 1,376 manufacturers around the globe. I'll sort it by headquarter country so you can see these are coming from countries all over the world. And then maybe I want to get a little bit more specific and say I'm actually looking for catheters specifically to add to my portfolio to sell into the market that I exist in. And that's going to take you down to then 107 companies, and you can see across a variety of countries around the world. The last example of finding partners I'll mention is if you're looking for help in the market, so regulatory, for example, or market consultants, or maybe trade organizations that you're looking for in a particular country. You can also do that in here. And in this case, what I'm going to do is let's use Brazil again as an example. And let's see what comes up in terms of regulatory market and trade associations in the Brazilian market. So these are companies or organizations you could reach out to help you with that as well. So that's partnering, and Lindsay's going to cover finding opportunities in a minute, which is a much more proactive, very effective tool for finding partners, but I'll leave that to her to discuss. The last area is collaboration. So once you pick partners and you start working with them, we have a set of collaborative tools that allow you to work with your partners in the platform. So in this particular example, I'm Global Cardio, I'm a manufacturer, and in the UK, I have a distributor called XYZ Distributors. This workspace is secure for them and myself or my colleagues to work together in the platform. We can share files. We can have key calendar dates, discussions. We can even manage little projects together like product launches, market entry projects, et cetera. And then of course, we can also manage business plans like sales forecasts. We can set metrics that we're gonna work towards in terms of KPIs together in the market. That's all done in this business plan tab and rolled up here. If you are doing this and you're doing it with multiple partners like I am here in various countries around the world or as a distributor with various suppliers, then you also have the ability to view these dashboards which gives you a sense of how you're performing on a market by market basis and how you're performing on a partner by partner basis around the world as well. So I'm going to pause that momentarily. Hopefully that level sets everyone. You understand what the platform does. And now let's talk a little bit more about opportunity post specifically. So let me just go back to my slides here, and I'll pass it over to Lindsay to talk a little bit about opportunity posts, and then she'll step you through that in the platform. Lindsay?
Great. Thank you, Craig. I'm really excited to show opportunity posting to our attendees today, as I work every day with customers in myCaribou to help them find and connect with partners. And I hear so much great feedback about opportunity posting. To give you a little background on what it is, opportunity posting is an efficient way of soliciting inbound partner requests from companies with synergistic product categories and call points. Let me walk you through a little bit of a scenario that I think we've all probably experienced before. You're walking down the hall of a large conference, maybe you're at Medica. You're going to see signs on booths that say looking for a new distributor or looking for new suppliers. And the companies that have those signs on their booths, they're just hoping that the right person walks by and starts a conversation with them. Now, there's a better way. myCaribou brings this online to a global network of over 40,000 medtech companies, allowing you to find new partners 24/7 all year round without the cost and the time commitment of going to a conference. So if you go to the next slide, I'll show a few examples here of how customers in myCaribou are using opportunity posts to solve real problems. So for instance, on the manufacturing side, let's say you've got a new market authorization. Maybe you've got your CE mark now and you're ready to go into Europe. You need distributors there to help you enter the market. Or maybe you have a new product or new product line that you're ready to launch and you need distributors to help you with that. Or perhaps one of your existing distributors, the relationship just hasn't worked out the way you wanted it, and now you need to replace them and find a new partner. Another interesting one is shipping consolidation opportunities between manufacturers. On the distributor side, some common examples are maybe a large RFP or a bid that you're responding to and you need product to fill the opportunity, or maybe your existing customer base is demanding additional products and you have this new opportunity to extend your product line and deliver to that or meet that demand of your customers. Another common one is a shortage with your current suppliers. You need new suppliers to fill the demand in your market. Now, if you bear with me for a second, I'll just share my screen and I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like. Oops. Sorry, just asked me a question there. There we go. All right, so I'm sharing my screen now, and what you're seeing here are opportunities posted by other companies in myCaribou. You can filter through these when you join myCaribou using filters that we've designed for the medtech space. So you can filter by product category or call point. And when I'm saying call point, I'm talking about the customers that are purchasing the product from the distributor. So who do the distributors have relationships with? Is it a department in a hospital or maybe a doctor's office? That's what I'm talking about when you hear me saying call points. Let me show you an example here. Here we have a Canadian-based distributor, and they're looking for new suppliers with innovative cardiovascular products. They've put right here at the top some criteria to specify exactly what they're looking for, and then down below they get into more detail about what they're looking for and what they would bring to a new partnership. When you join myCaribou, you can respond to opportunities like this one, as well as the others here, and you can also post your own opportunity. Posting your own opportunity is very simple. All you need to do is create a compelling title to describe what you're looking for, a detailed description which talks about what you're looking for in a partner and what you would bring to the potential partnership, and then some questions. The questions are going to help you collect information up front to help you evaluate the potential partner and save time in the process of evaluating partners. And then lastly, you can define your match settings. Your match settings are going to power the myCaribou match score. Your match score is going to help you see right away when a company is not a good fit for you with deal breakers. When you post your opportunity, we will also use your match score to promote your opportunity to all companies in myCaribou that fit the criteria that you're looking for in a partner. When you post your opportunity, you would also benefit from myCaribou's recommended companies tab. Here you'll see companies that myCaribou thinks are a good fit for you based on the criteria that you set in your opportunity. And you can review this list, looking at the companies and viewing their profiles and connecting with them directly in myCaribou right away. I hope that gave you a glimpse at how you can use this. Stay tuned, as now Craig's going to walk you through our best practices for a successful opportunity post. Craig. Okay, I've stopped sharing there, Craig.
Great, thanks, Lindsay. And certainly, as I just mentioned earlier, when people were joining, feel free to put any questions into the Q&A panel as we're going along here. I know we're covering it fairly quickly. We want to be sensitive to everyone's time, get through this, and talk about some best practices as well. But please feel free to jump in with questions, and we'll get to those momentarily. Okay, so Lindsay showed you the sort of the how-to of opportunity posts. And specifically around how to post them, how to put in your matching settings, something that's really important. Now, with our experience in this space, we know what works and what doesn't work, and we've put that together in a best practices summary, which is actually available through the platform as well. But we'll step you through some of the key elements here now. So the first is, as Lindsay mentioned in your description of your opportunity post, you want to create a clear and compelling value proposition, explaining why you would be a great partner. So for example, why would potential partners want to work with you? What makes your company unique? And this is true from both the distribution and a manufacturer side of things. And obviously could be also important if you're a market consultant or a regulatory consultant, a trade organization. If you're responding, you also want to be very clear about what your value proposition is. How can you help them? Why you? Why now? That type of thing. The second thing is you want to communicate clearly where you've had success and why. So for example, if you're a manufacturer, something like we've had successful partnerships in Western Europe, and we're looking to establish new partners in Eastern Europe. Or even it's maybe even more specific than that. We've had experience and success in Czechia. We're looking now for distribution partners in Poland, whatever that might be. If you flip that around and think about the distributor side, a clear sharing of your success might mean something like, we've had long-term relationships with cardiology departments of hospitals throughout Brazil and are looking for complementary products to our current portfolio. So you're sharing that you already have success, you have relationships, you have call points that are similar to what that company is looking for, and so you're connecting on that level. The third piece is to showcase your market readiness. Now, this is critical both for manufacturers and distributors, and I'll share some examples of both. And frankly, it's a huge frustration for potential partners if you don't do this. So, for example, for manufacturers, it's really important to explain that you have the required market certifications, and if you don't, what you're doing to remedy that. Are you in process? Are you very close, et cetera? And that you understand the market dynamics for the country. So you're not expected to be an expert. For example, if you're looking for a distributor in Brazil, you'd need to share where you are in terms of your ANVISA certification, but also your understanding of the market. Perhaps you've done some research on cardiovascular products through our platform or additional resources, and you're sharing how you understand, the number of cardiologists there are and the way the market works. That's really important. From a distributor perspective, again, it's really explaining how you're ready to market the desired product line in your country or in your region. So again, you want to share why you're ready, why now. So the example I showed earlier in the demo, a cardiovascular distributor looking for catheters. So we already have relationships. We sell into cardiology departments. We have a related set of products. We're missing this. We lost our catheter supplier and we now need one, but we're ready to sell it. that's important. And the reason I share this one is I hear it all the time. I'll just give you an example of a distributor I spoke with recently who said, every time a manufacturer approaches me, this happened to be in the Canadian market where MDSAP certification was important, is they didn't understand what they needed to sell into that market. And for the distributor, they're sitting there saying, well, that could take you a fair bit of money and a year or two. And so this is the wrong time to engage. Let's let you go further down that path and then make sure you're ready for the market. So that one's absolutely critical as well. The fourth one is limit the posting to specific products and or markets. So what I mean by this is that the post should be very targeted and not too broad. So again, let's talk about some examples here. From a manufacturer perspective, pick a few countries, not a lot of countries. So what this does is it actually shows focus and commitment to those markets. If you think about it from a distributor perspective, if you say I'm looking for distributors all over South America, that's not very specific. If you said I've had success in Brazil and now I'm looking for distributors in Argentina, Peru, and Chile, that's much more specific. And those distributors will respond more positively to that, knowing that you're very focused. It shows that you're committed to that new market, that committed to that new partnership, as opposed to trying to go too fast, too quickly all over the globe. If you flip that around again and think about it from a distributor's perspective, excuse me, pick a specific product or product line that you're looking for. Again, it shows focus and commitment to the supplier's products. So the example I just shared on market readiness, you're looking for catheters. Why? Because I don't have a catheter line to sell to my cardiology customers. So be very specific. Here's what I'm looking for. Here's why I want it, and here's how I'm gonna sell it. The next one is also very important, and this can be accomplished in the posting through what Lindsay showed you earlier. So this is almost a bit specific to myCaribou and the way you want to post your opportunity. But be specific about what you're looking for in a partner. And the reason this is so critical is really two things. It's going to help filter out unsuitable partners. Okay, so you want, almost like, you do job postings on various job sites, and you can specify the qualifications, which helps you go from like 1,000 resumes down to maybe 15 or 20 that are more relevant. That's the approach we're taking with the platform as well. Use those qualifications to limit it to a more suitable subset of potential partners. The second thing that does is it actually helps to establish partnership expectations from the outset. So if you're being clear on what you're looking for, I'm looking for an exclusive distributor in a specific market, it helps to then actually set expectations as you then start to talk to and negotiate with that partner. So, some examples of being specific. Let me be very clear here. Are you looking for an exclusive relationship? Is it regional distribution or national distribution you're looking for? Are you looking for a specialized distributor who focuses on a very narrow set of products? Or are you looking for more of a full line distributor that carries a lot of different products? What types of services and support are you looking for? And you can flip that around and say, that's great from a manufacturer looking for distributors. From a distributor perspective, when you're posting opportunities, same idea. Be specific about what you're looking for. What type of service and support are you expecting from the supplier? How are you looking for them to support you in sales and marketing opportunities in the market? It's all really important, as I said, for those two reasons: filtering out the partners that aren't a good fit, and secondly, it's establishing some great expectations from the outset. The other thing I'd say about all of these, by the way, so far, is that it actually helps professionalize your presentation to the global medtech market. All the things we're talking about takes you from sort of a one level up to another level in terms of sophistication, communication, messaging, et cetera. And that's really important. And then lastly, and Lindsay touched on this in the, second from last, Lindsay touched on this in her demo. It's really important to set some matching settings in your opportunity post. And hopefully everybody picked up on it, but when she was showing that, what happens is people can respond to your opportunity post, but the algorithm behind the scenes looks at your matching settings, and it will complete a list of potential targets for you ranked by their matching score. So even if people aren't responding necessarily in the volume that you hoped directly to your opportunity post, you've now got a targeted list based on match score that you could proactively go and reach out to as well through the platform. So that's a critical one as well. And then the last one I want to mention is everything we described is done through the platform, on the platform in myCaribou. But when you post an opportunity, there's a little button that says share. And what it allows you to do is actually take the link to the opportunity and you can share that anywhere you like outside of myCaribou. So for example, you could post that on your website. Distributors, if you're interested in contacting us, click this link, see our open opportunities, or communicate with us. That's a good example. Another one would be, post it on your LinkedIn page, both your company's LinkedIn page, as well as your personal profiles and postings in LinkedIn. You can even share it in an email. If somebody reaches out to you, you could say, hey, have a look at this opportunity. This is what we're looking for right now. And it actually drives them into the platform, makes them respond to your opportunity post, much like a candidate for a job would do, and actually answer, 3 or 4 questions and see if they're a fit before you spend any more time looking at that partnership. So I will just sum up this slide by saying, from our experience, if you follow these best practices, you will see interested partners connecting with you in the myCaribou platform. But these are really, really critical to that. Okay, let's talk about just the last piece of this, and then we'll open up for some questions. And again, if you have any questions, keep putting those into the Q&A panel. But what I want to talk about now is just the difference between an opportunity post and a promoted opportunity post. So everything Lindsay showed you can post as many opportunities as you want on the platform, okay, as a subscribing customer of our platform. So I should be clear about that. In your 30-day free trial, you can put one opportunity posted and we'll promote it for you. So what do we mean by a promoted opportunity post? Okay, well, it's not just letting that opportunity sit in the platform, but it's more proactively promoting it. So the first thing we do is messaging. So we craft effective messaging based on your opportunity post that focuses on the best practices I just described. So this is a strength of our organization. We have a team of professional marketing and business development talent that works on your opportunity post with you, okay? We're very good at messaging. We're good at taking your opportunity post, using our best practices and putting messaging together around that really drives home some of those things I just talked about in the previous slide. We then use a combination of email campaigns, phone calls, and social media posts to promote your opportunity. So it's a lot of extra work. That's when we talk about promoting your opportunity post, that's what we're describing: messaging, and then email campaigns, phone calls, and social media posts. If you follow our best practices and allow us to promote your opportunity, we'll typically get about 5 or so responding partners per opportunity post. So again, let's be very clear though, what I'm talking about there. We believe that a very focused opportunity post is the way to go. I mentioned that in the previous slide. So as an example, if you're looking for cardiovascular distributors in Brazil to sell your products and you follow the best practices, we will promote that. We will promote it heavily to Brazilian distributors in that case: emails, phone calls, social media posts, sometimes even through trade shows. I was at Hospital R back in May and connected many companies to existing opportunities because I'm talking to them in a booth and realize, hey, we've got these opportunities. They're looking for X, Y, or Z. So if you do follow that process, if you allow us to promote it, we would typically see 5, 6, 7 potential partners connect to you through the platform on that particular opportunity post. Now, remember, you can post as often as you want. If you're a subscribing customer, we will do a promoted opportunity post with you 1 time per month. We have to be a little bit careful about not going too overboard on this. But if you think about it, then over a 12-month cycle, you could post into, if you're a manufacturer, 12 to 24, 25 markets with these opportunities, because we're recommending 1 or 2 typically markets when you're doing these. If you're a distributor, that opens up all kinds of opportunities to find partners, suppliers, whether that's because you've got an RFP or a tender or a bid that you need to respond to, whether you lose a supplier, all the examples that Lindsay gave you, you have the ability then to post those opportunities, and we will promote them up to one time per month for you as part of that subscription. So just to kind of go back very quickly, hopefully we gave you a good view of the platform, brought you up to speed if you're not a current user. There are many people on the call today that are. I'll just step you through very quickly the next steps. So if you haven't signed up for that 30-day free trial, you can go ahead and do that. It's in the chat panel. We will approve them very quickly. And we have to do it to validate that you are in fact, responding and on behalf of that company, you have a valid email, valid title, et cetera. Book your orientation session. So Lindsay and her team will spend about 30 minutes with you. They'll onboard you. They'll make sure you set up your profile correctly, your connection settings, and then they'll actually help you post your first opportunity. And then the fourth step is really on us, which is we will then promote your first opportunity for you during your 30-day free trial. And again, if you become a subscriber to the platform, we'll continue this process over and over again as you promote opportunities this month, next month, and months to come in the future. So let me move on quickly here to any questions. And I'm just going to actually turn off my sharing for a moment here. Don't think I need that. And we'll focus in on some questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to continue to add those to the Q&A and or the chat panel. There was one that came in here that was asking about the quantity of posted opportunities. Can I post more than one opportunity was the question. So I've touched on that towards the end, but just to be really clear, you can post as many opportunities as you want as a subscribing customer. So in your free trial, you'll typically just post one. As you move past the 30-day free trial into a subscribing customer, you can post as many as you want. We will promote up to one per month for subscribing customers. Hopefully that answered your question. If it didn't, feel free to chime in with a further question. Excuse me. The second question here is around targeting specific regions with myCaribou. So I think the question here is that when you post an opportunity, I'm going to read it kind of two different ways here. So first, yes, you can select specific countries, for example, to post your opportunity to, as we talked about. You can also select regions. So you could say, I want to post this for the Caribbean. I want to post this for Eastern Europe. There are groupings of countries in that way as well, which are effectively regions. Again, I would be a little careful though, because you don't want to get too carried away with too many countries. You want to be very specific. Now, I will also mention though that there is an element of this we didn't talk about today, which is if you're looking at markets like United States, China, Canada, Brazil, very large geographic markets that tend to be very regional. You can also be very specific about regions. So you might say, for example, I'm looking for distributors in California. I already have distributors in Florida and in New Mexico and wherever else. And I'm looking specifically for distributors in those markets. Now, I'm going to flip it around for a second on that question, because there may be another element to it, which is if you're a distributor, you can also specify regions. Meaning, for example, you might say, I'm looking for suppliers, but I want to be specific about where those suppliers are coming from. I'm looking for European suppliers. I'm looking for American suppliers. I'm looking for suppliers from China. But you can also do the opposite to say, I'm looking for suppliers in general, but not from these countries. So you could actually say, not this country, this country, this country, and leave it open to all the other countries. So it really does give you a lot of flexibility, both as a distributor and as a manufacturer for that. I will also mention, if you are a trade organization, market consultant, regulatory consultant, same idea. You can be very specific about the countries that that you're looking for partnering in, or the countries that you want to partner with. So for example, I was talking to somebody this morning that is focused on the German market. They help companies go into the German market. For them, they could look at posted manufacturer opportunities of companies that are trying to go into Germany, and they could respond to those saying, hey, if you need help in terms of entering the market and potentially distribution, we're a solution for you. Sorry, the long answer to that, but there was a bunch of different ways to take that question. I'll just answer maybe one or two more here, and then we'll wrap up, and I'll give you back some time. So this one is, and Lindsay, I'm going to ask you to maybe answer this one, but I have a need for new partners, but I'm not sure how to put that into an opportunity. Do you offer services to help with posting opportunities? So why don't you chime in on that one?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great question. So our customer success team, when you sign up for myCaribou, when you join in your free trial, this is continued from your free trial, and then also if you subscribe, you have a dedicated customer success manager that will work with you on your opportunity to make sure that you get the messaging right, you have your criteria, your match settings set correctly so that you're going to attract the right types of partners for your business. Our marketing and business development team will also be reviewing your post and providing feedback that will relate to you through your CSM, your customer success manager, to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward when we present your opportunity to the companies in our network. So I'll just, as a reminder, Craig showed it on the previous slide that you can book an orientation session after this call. It's also, I think we put it in the chat. Yeah, the link is in the chat. So you can, as soon as you sign up, book your orientation session with your dedicated customer success manager, and they'll help you get started right away.
Excellent. The last question here I'll answer, then we'll wrap, and we are going to provide a recording of this afterwards for anybody who wants it as well. Is how soon will I start to see responses on my opportunity? Yeah, it's a great question. So there are a lot of factors that are going to come into play there. So not all opportunities are the same. Not all businesses are the same, obviously. I'll speak to it from a promotion perspective. We actually promote the opportunity typically over about a 3 or 4 week period of time. And in fact, we'll often do a re-promotion of that opportunity another few weeks later, or potentially a month later. So our outreach is basically over a 3 or 4 week period. So if you post an opportunity, first of all, we then ask your permission to make sure you're good with us promoting it for you, with you. In some cases, there'll be some fine tuning. We might look at it and say, that you want to modify this, and this if you really want to get some great responses. That's part of what we offer as part of the package. And so there might be a little bit of back and forth on that. So maybe that's a week, and then we'll start the promotion, and that's going to take 3 to 4 weeks. So that's one of the reasons we say, we'll promote once a month for opportunities. There's a lot of work that goes into it to make it effective. And you want to be ready to respond to and connect with those partners. Because remember, we're bringing partners together in a much more efficient way than the example Lindsay mentioned. I've been to Medtech, I've been to Hospital R. It's a much more efficient way to find partners, but there's still work to be done. You're still going to evaluate each other. You're going to have conversations. You're going to look at the products. You're going to look at their relationships. You're going to maybe do some reference checks, whatever it is you do to finish off that process. And then again, of course, with our platform, we hope you then move that into those workspaces and start to manage those partnerships through that. But in any case, to answer the shorter version, 3-4 weeks typically is when you'll start to see some great responses. Sometimes it's faster. Sometimes we get immediate response. We had one a few weeks ago that I remember seeing 7 or 8 responses very quickly within a few days. But I would sort of set your expectations around that 3 or 4 week period to allow us time to promote it through our various sources and get some partners talking to you. So on that note, I'm just going to wrap there. If any other questions come in, I may have missed some. Hopefully I didn't. We will respond afterwards. We will follow up with an email, give you a link to the presentation. You have the 2 links to sign up to and also to do the orientation in the chat today, but we'll send that in the fall as well. And I want to thank Lindsay for joining me, and thank you all for participating today. Hopefully you found it helpful. We look forward to helping you build and find and build great partnerships all over the globe. Thanks for your time, everyone.